Go on, go on. Wingardium Leviosa.
Hi, today I will present my LEGO recreation of the Wingardium Leviosa classroom scene from Harry Potter. To begin the project, I downloaded LEGO assets from Mecabricks as OBJ files. I imported them into Blender, where I cleaned and prepared the geometry before exporting everything as FBX files for Unity. The classroom environment was originally a curved semicircular room directly exported from Mecabricks. However, fitting rectangular LEGO floor tiles into this layout caused overlapping geometry, resulting in Z-fighting and unstable baked lighting. To solve this, I rebuilt the room into a rectangular layout and separated it into modular wall sections, such as window walls, bookshelf walls, fireplace walls, and filler walls. This made the environment easier to adjust and manage inside Unity. After importing the environment into Unity, I used large black meshes outside the visible scene as light blockers to prevent unwanted exterior light from leaking into the classroom during baking. For the custom characters, I recreated LEGO versions of myself and my boyfriend to act as classmates behind Harmony and Ron. I started by selecting existing LEGO figures in Mecabricks with suitable hairstyles and exported them into Blender. The original models contained hidden faces and unnecessary geometry, so I removed invisible faces, dissolved redundant edges, converted triangles into cones where possible, and optimized the topology before unwrapping. After cleaning the meshes, I unwrapped all components using Smart UV Project and manually reorganized the UV layouts to improve texture space usage. One unique feature was the hair on my character. I selected specific strands and assigned them to a second material slot to create pink highlights, requiring separate UV layouts for the different hair materials. All textures were created manually in Adobe Illustrator using 1024 by 1024 canvases. The facial textures were based on LEGO references converted into vectors using image trace and refined manually. I used the existing uniforms of Harmony and Ron Legos, but recolored them into different Hogwarts houses. Once the textures were complete, I combined them into bitmap textures using screenshots of the UV layouts as guides to ensure every texture aligned correctly with the geometry. The animation contains 4 animated characters, the floating feather, and animated fireplace flames. Because LEGO characters consist of rigid pieces, I animated individual body parts separately rather than using deforming rigs. To prevent root position issues and ensure stable play mode behavior, most character parts were animated independently, with the exception of the hands and wands being parented to the arms. Harmony's arm also used a dedicated shoulder pivot object. The animation was created manually using Unity Timeline and keyframes. I first established major poses, then added intermediate keyframes to smooth the motion before adjusting groups of keyframes to synchronize everything with the dialogue and sound effects. After experiencing conflicts between imported animation clips and timeline, I recreated all movements manually, giving me complete control over timing and synchronization. Ron's facial expressions change was achieved by rotating his Lego head 180 degrees to reveal the alternate face print. The feather and flames were animated separately using transform keyframes, with the fireplace consisting of 7 flame pieces rotating at slightly different speeds. For cinematography, I created 4 Cinemachine cameras for different compositions and switched between them using timeline. The final shot used a spline dolly camera that moves upward with the feather using dolly spline on normalized mode. For lighting, I wanted the classroom to feel warm, cozy, and slightly cavern-like, similar to Harry Potter films. I also set every classroom prop to static, except for the animated characters, feather, and flames. The scene uses a low-intensity skybox, a directional daylight source, warm spotlights near the torches and ceiling, and fireplace lighting. The warm orange firelight contrasts with the cooler daylight entering through the tinted windows. The torch and fireplace flames use emissive materials. The actual illumination comes from nearby spotlights, with the emissive materials providing the visible glow. Because most lighting is baked, I used light prop groups, so dynamic objects such as the characters and feather receive lighting consistent with the environment. I also added a reflection prop to improve the reflective plastic appearance of the LEGO materials. For audio, I first added the original movie scene and used it to synchronize the animation timing. Later, I edited the audio in Audacity and separated Harmony and Ron's dialogue into individual clips. The final sound design includes dialogue clips, a spell sound effect, Ron's shocked reaction, 4 wand whoosh effects, Harry Potter background music, and a fireplace ambience. For post-processing, I used Unity's global volume system. Bloom creates glow around the flames and magical elements. Color adjustments increase contrast while reducing saturation. And a subtle vignette darkens the edges of the frame to focus attention on Harmony, Ron, and the floating feather. Thank you.